How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about SOFI. It ended up being down almost 5% on the day on the Friday, but since we do have April that is right around the corner, and for this coming week, I want to make sure you have a good idea of what the price action can look like. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support, we want to know resistance, we want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for SOFI. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $9.01, being down 4.86%. On the low, it tested $8.91, and then on the high, testing $9.42. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 42.525 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 55.509 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, and it's part of the reasons why we've seen some weakness in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 41.27. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So it is clear to see that SOFI has been on a clear downtrend, trading below all of our major moving averages, which means it's in a bear market. So you can see there's a lot of profit taking that has been going on. We had a strong run up where we tested right at $10, and of course, which we spoke about in the previous video, this is a resistance area. There's a lot of pressure here, and now that we have been selling off for this coming week, don't be surprised if you see SOFI getting down to around $8.48 due to the fact that we did test $8.91 on the Friday. And if we get down to $8.48 and see continued weakness, this is where we could possibly get down right here at the $8. So that's something you're going to want to keep an eye on, especially if you are a long-term investor. If you're looking for a turnaround out of SOFI, we need to get back above the 21-day EMA, or let's just call it being back at $10 and then starting to make a move up. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing this occur going into April. April is known for being a strong month for the stock market, so that's why SOFI has a lot of room for it to make a turnaround. And what I'd want to see is us getting back to the 50-day here right around $11.20. I'm not saying this is going to happen for the coming week. I'm just saying to look out for this in April. So as far as Monday is concerned, unless we have a breakout above $9.45, I can see we could have some resistance here right at the 21-day EMA at $9.75. And that's where it'd be very interesting to see if we could actually get past that. But like I said, we still have a lot to look forward to going forward. And if it does decide to pull back even more, just an opportunity to add more to your position if you're interested, of course. Now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for SOFI. As we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So we can see for March of 25th, we have a filing from JP Morgan that purchased 14,814 shares. Scrolling down, we also have Flex Shares Morningstar that purchased 16,082 shares. We also have Redners and McVeigh Core that purchased 25,000 shares. We have Fidelity that purchased just under 189,000 shares. We also have Sun America Series Trust that purchased 3,300 shares. And those are pretty much the filings from the 24th. And we do continue to see more inflows. And most notably, we have to point this one out for March the 4th, being DCM International that purchased just over 11.7 million shares. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 56.14%. And then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 9.9 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 2.8 1.7 million updated just now. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 2.65%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we could see for the close of the 24th, it was at 50.10. And then for the close of the 25th, being at 56.14. So one thing that is clear, SOFI does continue to have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution.
Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for SOFI. So we see on the inflows at 58.21 and then on the outflows at 67.62. And keep in mind these numbers are in the millions. Analyzing numbers even further for the large scale orders, it is at 1.59. On the medium, it is 32.94. And then on the small, it was 23.68. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 0. On the medium, it was 43.75. And then on the small, it is 23.87. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for the close of March 25th, we ended up having an inflow of 1.59 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 5.13%. So no surprises there. This tends to be a consistent range for SOFI. We know it does trade a lot of volume on a daily basis. But one thing that we did notice, though, there was some more selling that was happening on the retail side, but we did have institutions and whales who were loading up. So let's move on to the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for SOFI, when it comes to the price action, we saw a lot of strength inside of the market. SOFI was able to run up with it. But now as far as the stages that we are in, we are starting to see a good amount of profit taking. This could continue for this coming week. So I want to make sure that is something that you are prepared for. And one thing that you want to make sure that you keep in mind as far as April is concerned, it is known to be a strong month for the stock market. So if we see the market picking up as a whole, I'm expecting SOFI to follow along like it's done in the past. So what this would look like, I'd want to see the stock get back to around $10 to $11 in the month of April. As far as for the recent price action, there's a possibility for this coming week it can get down to $8.48. And if it decides to pull back even further, then I'm looking for support right around $8. But again, this becomes an attractive area if you're a long-term investor and you're interested in SOFI. That's why I want to make sure I'm bringing it to your attention, because even if it gets down to these levels, it will turn around. We see that there's a lot of demand inside of the market. Institutions have been loading up as well. And as far as for the short interest is concerned, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. So that's why when you have more buying volume coming in or we have a strong catalyst, the stock moves very quickly. So that's why it is very important that you do your homework and you do your due diligence before jumping into this play. Do a lot of volatility. There's a lot of interest on the retail side. But just saying all of that, that's why I want to make sure you keep this play on your radar. And with that said, the breakout level is around $9.75. So make sure you add that to your strategy if you're looking for a strong reversal. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I can't wait to see how the stock performs for the coming week. We'll talk soon.